Today we're going to take a look at the Next Flagship. The NEXTOOL Mini Flagship is one of those tools that got me thinking much more deeply about the Chinese marketplace with multi-tools. Welcome, this is Haku EDC. This is Swiss Army Knife or SAC Friday, where we will review Swiss Army Knife or one of its competitors here. Today we are going to be doing the NEXTOOL Mini Flagship. This has been up for about 3 years now. It is still selling fairly well, although it may have been overtaken by a few items, which I will talk about. When this first came out, people in the SAC community actually wanted to compare it to the Manager, and some people even compared it to the Compact. A few people wanted to compare it to the Deluxe Tinker, primarily because the Tinker and the NEXTOOL have a pair of pliers on it. In my mind, it was much closer to something like the Gerber Dime and possibly the Leatherman PS. It was much closer to those. Let's go through some of the implements that we have on the NEXTOOL Mini Flagship. First off, it does have a nice saw that's on both sides. It's usable. And right here, as you can tell, it's got a little straight edge slotted that you can possibly use for a screwdriver. On this particular side, you have what I call a 2.5 dimension Phillips. It works well with Phillips. I've tried it on a number of Phillips. On this side here, you have your bottle opener and can opener. You got to have that, right? Otherwise, it's not fully really a multi-tool. Then on this side, you have your knife. The knife is actually pretty nice. It's a decent size knife. Why don't we just measure it so that you can see here. The whole thing is about 4 inches or so, but the knife itself is 2 inches. That's the knife part. Then it has two other really important implements. One is this are the pliers. Now these pliers are pretty nice. They're pretty thin. If you want to compare them to something that's on the PS2, I mean the Leatherman PS, pliers wise, they're going to be just a little thicker in some parts, but I think the real goal is really to compare them to the Gerber Dime. And these are the Gerber Dime pliers. If you can see, the Gerber Dime ones are just maybe a little thicker. One of the super winner devices on here are the scissors. These scissors are a really nice size pair of scissors. They are able to cut through any number of things from paracord to paper really well. There have been people that have tested these scissors, and they're definitely in the top 10% of scissors on pretty much all multi-tools. They're obviously going to be better than the scissors that are on the Gerber Dime. The Gerber Dime also has a little bit of spring-loaded pliers, and that makes a little bit of a difference for gripping things. These pliers are spring-loaded, but the Gerber Dime ones are a little bit better. Those are the instruments that are on here. Once again, you have combination pliers with needle nose, scissors, a knife, a bottle opener, can opener, a nail file, slotted screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver, and of course the keychain ring. I think that you could put this on a keychain. It'll be one of the heavier things that you would want to put on there, but it does go on a keychain pretty nicely here. Now let's go through a little bit of the weight of this so that you can kind of see in the size, but let's go through the weight so that you can see the weight here and compare it. Let's see here. Yeah. The weight is 2.8 ounces or 80 grams. Now, if we were to compare that to the Gerber dime is 65 grams. So it is going to be about 10 to 15% less in weight for that. Now, if we were to compare it to something like, that's going to be almost, 2/3 the weight of it. And a lot of that has to do with this layers, metal, and also a lot more things inside of this particular implement. It just to let you know that the knife, I think, is 50 CR15, and everything else here is 30 CR13, if I remember correctly. It is going to be a fairly soft steel. This device right now only $25. When I picked it up, they were selling between $12 to $15 for these, and that's how come I was able to get two. That was a pretty big bargain right after I got the first one here. This is the NEXTOOL Mini Flagship. Now, some of the downsides are that this is the first generation, and they corrected it in the next set. People would complain that the springs in here would break, and I can see that. This is a small multi-tool, and if you overstress it, you can break parts. That's clear. That it's easy because of the way it looks and what you're doing with it to easily overstress these tools and break something on it. It doesn't mean that it is a user's fault, but it is what's the expectation here. The NEXTOOL Mini Flagship, some people think that it's been overtaken by the NEXTOOL Mini. With the exception of the scissors, I think that you're probably right. I do like the pliers on the Mini Sailor a little bit better, but they're still both nice pliers. They're almost exactly the same pliers, but for like some reason these feel a little nicer. Well, the scissors on here are nowhere close in quality and function to the Flagship. These are the scissors on here. While they're okay, they're not close at all. So we're going to finish up with the NEXTOOL Mini Flagship. And I'm just going to say that for $25, they're still an okay bargain since they've come out almost 3 years, that there are things that are comparable to them that you may want to look at. This is Haku EDC. Please like, comment, and I'll see you in the future.